All right, we got the 04 out here. This thing has a shifting issue. It only shifts into first and fifth, right? But I was just in the motor because I completely rebuilt it top to bottom, crank, piston, everything. And I inspected the transmission. Everything was mint. No metal shavings since, and it's all perfect. Right when I put it together, it'll only shift into first and fifth. Now, my going theory is inside this motor, down here, there is a shift mechanism or a shift linkage or whatever you want to call it that is faulty or just isn't good. So we're going to take it apart, get the inner clutch cover off, clutch cover, all this stuff off so we can get to there. We'll also need to take off the clutch, and then we can get to that shift linkage. So let's get this motor torn apart and I can see if we can fix this thing and give you guys a video. Look at that. Gasket came out 100% together. That's why you grease your gaskets, and you don't have to worry about that. All right, got the motor torn down here, and I was just messing with it. It looks like it shifts good into all the gears. Just second, third, and fourth are just gone. Like it shifts into them, but it's just gone. And everything in this mechanism looks all right. So I'm gonna take it apart and see if I can do something here. I don't know if I'll be able to, but we'll see. Okay, I think I got it figured out, guys. I think this right here wasn't on the drum properly because there's a little dowel in there. There's a little marker, and it's supposed to be lined up with this mark here. See that little dot there? It's supposed to be lined up with that, but I don't think it was, because now if I put a ratchet on here, it is at fourth right now. That's third. I need to spin this. Is that neutral? No, that's not a gear. Spin this, that's another gear. That's second. That's first. So it's working now. I couldn't be more happy. Let's put this thing together and see if it rips. All right, any of these bolts inside of the motor, Loctite them with blue Loctite. It'll save you, because these can rattle out, especially since they're in the motor. That's the most vibrated part. It can rattle out and it can jingle around and ruin your gears. So Loctite these bolts, it'll save you. All right, another thing we have to do this video, rebuild this Kickstarter, because this shaft is from my 2014, which is basically just 05 plus Kickstarter shaft, and that's because my other one should be in here. My other one snapped, right? That's a common issue with these YZ125s. They snap, and then you have to buy new ones, and the new one was like $75. It's down here. I bought an aftermarket one off of eBay. We're gonna hope that it's good, and we're gonna rebuild this. The 04 one is slightly different from the 2014. I will show you guys. You can see here, the 04, this piece here is longer than this piece, and this one has a little indent here. So, yeah, that's something. And I think they're like different widths almost, and lengths. Yeah, but we're gonna be switching it out for the proper one, putting this one back into the 2014. 2014, it's over here. This is my brother's Evo. He's wrapping it right now. This gray isn't the wrap color, it's gonna be purple, but the gray is just primer that was underneath the old wrap from the old owner. And here's 2014. This thing was a crank out, and I bought a 165 big bore stroker for it and a Recluse clutch. So this thing's gonna have a pretty built motor, but I have to get some suspension work done to match with the built motor. But I'm gonna be selling this thing once it's done. The built motor should be in soon. Oh, and 250. You guys probably saw this thing last video. It runs and drives, transmission shot. So, yeah, I got a good tranny for that. Found one for 300 bucks. This isn't the permanent look of it though. I still have to put on the O2 Plus subframe and the rear plastics and stuff and get it all sorted, but that's not what it's gonna look like. But yeah, seems as though I've fixed that bike. So for this here, this spring, if it'll focus, I don't know if you can see, there's a spring in there that goes into this plastic piece. You want to get that out first, and then all of this will slide out. So you have to pry this with a flathead out this side, and it'll all pull up, and then you can get everything off. You pull off the gear, and then we swap it onto this shaft, and swap this onto, I swap this one with all of the other gears for the 2014. So let's get that done. So we got the spring and the gear off of that shaft. Now we've got to put it on this shaft. What we're gonna do is you find that hole, and you want to line it up with your spring as good as you can. And then it's a little hard to do with one hand, but there we go. I think, is that in? It seems like it's in. Yeah. So that's what you do, but you have to put on the gear first. I just messed up. I didn't put on the gear first. So you got to put on the gear first, and you do exactly that. Then you've got a proper Kickstarter. So now we can put this in. And this is a little oddly shaped. A little rounded. It's a little stranger than the OEM one. Seems a little sketchy almost to run. You just jimmy it into gear there. And yeah, Alexa just has to talk right at that moment. You have to spin this little pin spring thingy here around until it lines up with that hole. And then it shall go in. And there we go. Now it is in, and it will stay in. And this spring is definitely not on the shaft properly. That is damn sure. Okay, yeah. After I took apart, guess I didn't put it together properly. Hold on, gotta redo it. So what we're gonna be using here to tighten the clutch hub nut is this clutch holding tool, which I'll be linking in the description, and a 1 1/16 inch socket for there. And basically what you do is you just let this rest on your stand, take this, tighten, and you can torque it till you want, or ugga-duggas. We have a new clutch pack going in here. This is the cheapest clutch I could find for around 50 bucks. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get a paper plate. We're gonna put oil in the paper plate. You soak both sides of the clutch pack with oil, and you put it in, and it'll work. So I'm gonna get that done. See you guys when the motor's together. Clutch pack is installed. Now you take your pressure plate here. I'm gonna have to dust that off. You put it on, then you put all the springs in place in these holes, as well as the bolts on top of them, and you tighten them down. Be careful with these bolts. They break really easily, okay? Be careful. All right, we got it together. That pipe is god-awful, but it's together, and I think it's ready to go for its maiden voyage. Oh, we had a bit of a coolant leak down here. So right now I just have like a gasket maker on there that is drying, and I have that cloth there so oil doesn't just leak everywhere onto the ground like it still is. Ugh, that's not good. Yeah, so there's a bit of an oil leak. So I'm gonna have to drain all the oil after this ride and then put a bunch of gasket maker into there because I'm not wanting to take off that cover right now. Silencer's hanging right now, but we're gonna leave it like that for the first little ride. So let's start it up. Hopefully it will start. Started before, just fine. I'll put it on reserve. Yeah, this thing has reserve. Let me do this on my own. All right, we got it out. We're gonna see, will it start and run and drive? Wait, I need to turn on my choke. We're all good. I'm gonna get some riding clips for you guys. All right, guys. It runs, it drives. Clutch slips extremely badly. I think it just needs to be broken in because it's brand new. I will get riding clips tomorrow, so don't click off the video yet. The riding clips will come right now.